So first we will see what are the natural methods. So this natural method is to prevent the meeting of sperm with ovum. What are the types in this? First one is called as periodic abstinence or rhythm method. This periodic abstinence or rhythm method is followed at about 14th day of menstrual cycle. So here if you see, usually ovulation occurs at about 14th day of the menstrual cycle. So this 14th day of menstrual cycle should be taken into account. So based on that, what has to be done is abstinence or periodic abstinence has to be done. So that is coitus is to be avoided during this time. That is copulation is to be avoided during the 14th day of menstrual cycle, because during 14th day, already I have told you in menstrual cycle ovulation occurs. So that is ovulatory phase. Next one is continuous abstinence. So continuous abstinence is the simplest and most reliable way, and here the method is not to have coitus for a defined period of time. Next one, coitus interrupts. Coitus interrupts is preventing deposition of semen into the vagina. So preventing the deposition of semen, that is sperm, into the vagina, that is coitus interrupts. Lactational amenorrhea. So here lactational amenorrhea is actually here if you see, the delayed ovarian cycle occurs due to parturition and lactation. Parturition, you know what is parturition is? Completion of pregnancy and giving birth to the baby, that is what is parturition. Lactation is breastfeeding. So what happens during this period is delayed ovarian cycle occur. So this is what is called as lactational amenorrhea. So during this period, what happens is actually it acts as a natural but it is unreliable form of birth control measure. So during this period, suckling of the baby, that is during lactation period, if you see, it stimulates the pituitary gland to secrete increased prolactin hormone. So this prolactin hormone is very important for the production of milk. So when the prolactin concentration is high, what happens is it suppresses the release of gonadotropins, that is gonadotropin releasing hormone, and that is why ovulation can be stopped. So because of that, what happens is it may occur as a natural method of birth control. Next one, so in this we have seen natural methods, periodic abstinence or rhythm method, next continuous abstinence, coitus interrupts, lactational amenorrhea. So during that is delayed ovarian cycle occurs because of parturition and lactation. So what is the reason is, during this lactation period, what happens actually is the prolactin hormone will be high. So because of that, gonadotropin hormone, which is essential for ovulation, will not be produced. So delayed ovarian cycle occurs. So next one is barrier method. Barrier method, there are three types. One is chemical barrier, mechanical barrier, hormonal barriers. Chemical barrier, if you see, some of the tablets, that is foaming tablets. Next one is melting suppositories, creams. So these all, if you see, they are very important to make the sperm inactivate, or you can say they are called as spermicides. Spermicides means to kill the sperm. So these are used as a chemical barriers. Next one is mechanical barrier. So usage of condoms, that is condom is a thin sheath which is used by the male. So that is to prevent conception. It is also a barrier against AIDS and sexually transmitted diseases. So the condom is in the case of male, and in the case of female, if you see, to prevent the entry of sperm into the uterus, diaphragms, cervical caps and walls. So these are the things that are used, mechanical things that are used by the female to prevent conception. So next one is hormonal barriers, oral contraceptives, that is pills. You can say pills means tablets, so which are used for preventing ovulation. So what is the important function of these contraceptives is, it prevents ovulation and it thickens the cervical fluid so that it prevents the entry of sperm. So it prevents the secretion of FSH and LH also. The hormone plays a role in preventing the secretion of FSH and LH, because this is very important for menstruation. So this hormone prevents the secretion of FSH and LH. So the name of that is Saheli. It is a contraceptive pill, Saheli, which is a non-steroidal preparation, and it is given by the name Centroman. So Saheli is a one more question. What is the name of the contraceptive pill which is used for as the hormonal barrier is Saheli. So in barrier methods we have seen chemical barrier, mechanical barrier and hormonal barriers. Next one, intrauterine devices. So what are the devices that are used for preventing or for birth control? So first one, if you see these intrauterine devices, they are inserted by the experts in the uterus through the vagina. So what are the different types if you see? They are copper releasing IUDs. IUDs are intrauterine devices. Hormone releasing IUDs, non-medicated IUDs. So these are three intrauterine devices. So hormone releasing, copper releasing, hormone releasing, non-medicated. So what are the function of these is, first one, phagocytosis of sperm, that is engulfing of sperm and delay pregnancy. So it is an ideal contraceptives for female, and in India if you see 95 to 99% of successful birth control method is by using this intrauterine devices. So first we will see copper releasing IUDs. So there are different types of copper releasing IUDs that differs based on the amount of copper. So that IUDs difference is only among the amount of copper present. So different types if you see, CUT 380A, Nova T, CU7, that is copper 7, then copper T 380 AG, then multilode 375. So you can see in this picture the different copper releasing IUDs are present here, which will be inserted in the uterus through the vagina. Next one, function if you see, they release free copper and copper salts, and because of that the motility of sperm is prevented, that is the sperm loses their ability to move. So how long period can this copper releasing IUDs can be fixed in the uterus is, that is the duration is 5 to 10 years. So this is a best birth control measure. So 5 to 10 years this intrauterine device, that is copper releasing IUD, is inserted in the uterus. Next one is hormone releasing IUDs. So what are the types if you see, progesterone, then LNG20. So this is what is hormone releasing IUDs. The function of this is to increase the viscosity of the cervical mucus. So when the cervical mucus viscosity is increased, what happens is the sperm will not be able to move inside. So what happens is this prevents the entry of sperm again into the uterus. So it increases the viscosity of the cervical mucus. So next one is non-medicated IUDs. It is made of plastic or stainless steel. So I will show you the image. Lips loop, double S-shaped plastic device, and permanent birth control method who do not want to have any more children. So here if you see, lips loop, double S-shaped plastic device. So this is lips loop. So here permanent birth control method is this, up to this non-medicated IUD, lips loop, double S-shaped plastic device, up to this is temporary birth control measures. After that we are going to see is permanent birth control method. That is the people who do not want to have any more children, they go to permanent birth control method. So that is the only method, surgical sterilization method. So surgical method, that is tubectomy and vasectomy. So tubectomy, what happens is, I will show you the image. Small portion of fallopian tubes are cut and tied. So I think now you know what is fallopian tube. You have already learnt what are fallopian tube and what are the parts of the female reproductive system. So a portion of fallopian tubes are cut and tied. You can see here, this is what is fallopian tube. So here small portion of the fallopian tube is cut and tied. So this process is called as tubectomy, and this is done for female. And next one, this is done to prevent fertilization and to prevent the entry of egg into the uterus. Next one is vasectomy. Both vas deferens are cut and tied, and this prevents sperm into the discharge. That is, prevents the entry of sperm or release of sperm into the discharge. So vasectomy is done in male. So this is testis and this is epididymis and this is vas deferens. So you can see the vas deferens is cut and divided into two and then a loop is made here. So this will prevent the entry of sperm along with the discharge. So if you see permanent method, tubectomy and vasectomy, this is done. This is a permanent birth control measure, and the people who are not willing to have children anymore, they go to tubectomy or vasectomy. So next one is medical termination of pregnancy or MTP. So medical termination is nothing but abortion. So either it is done voluntary or intentional termination of pregnancy is medical, that is MTP. This can be done either by non-surgical method, by a non-invasive method. So this is safe only up to 12 weeks, that is first trimester. So that is first 3 months. That is MTP can be done only within the first 3 months. If it is the second trimester, it is more risky. And this MTP is legalized in 1971. Only when medical necessity arises, the MTP has to be done. That is medical termination of pregnancy has to be done. Because this is also misused, like how I told you for amniocentesis. When after knowing the child is female, that is feticide. This is also a type of feticide. It is misused after knowing the sex of the baby. So that is why this is also made legalized. So next one, MTP, if it is illegally performed without any experts, it is unsafe and it may lead to death of the particular woman. Next one, the first consumption, that is MTP of first consumption, may lead to psychological consequences. So first consumption is first, we can say pregnancy. So that MTP of first pregnancy may lead to some psychological consequences. So this is about medical termination of pregnancy. So far we have seen all those topics related to importance of sex education and reproductive health, amniocentesis and its statutory ban, social impact of sex ratio, female feticide and infanticide, population explosion and birth control, medical termination of pregnancy. So I hope you have understood all these things, and please go through all the slides so that you will be able to understand it clearly, and if you have any doubt, you can call me and you can clarify the doubts. Thank you, students.